Let's start by debunking the myth that women's fantasies are solely about romance and emotional connection. They are not. While those elements are certainly present, the spectrum is far broader. Women's fantasies can be adventurous, taboo, empowering, and yes, sometimes downright hilarious. Consider this. A study from the Kinsey Institute revealed that nearly 90% of women have fantasized about a threesome. That's not just a statistic, it's a testament to the adventurous spirit that resides within. But why do these fantasies exist? Are they mere escapism, or do they serve a deeper purpose? Psychologists suggest that fantasies allow individuals to explore desires, confront fears, and even process past experiences in a safe mental space. They are not necessarily blueprints for action. Rather, they are stories we tell ourselves, experiences we play out in our minds to tap into feelings we may not always express outwardly. There's something undeniably enticing about the forbidden. It's the reason why sneaking a cookie before dinner felt so thrilling as a child. In the realm of fantasies, this allure manifests in various forms. Take, for instance, the fantasy of being dominated. It's not about relinquishing control in real life, but exploring the dynamics of power in a controlled, imagined scenario. This fantasy allows for the exploration of vulnerability and trust, elements that are crucial in real-world relationships. Similarly, fantasies involving strangers or anonymous encounters tap into the excitement of the unknown. They allow for the shedding of societal expectations and the embrace of raw, unfiltered desire. These fantasies can be as much about liberation from routine as they are about the acts themselves. Of course, romance has its place. It's still a significant player in the fantasy arena. But it's not always about Prince Charming sweeping in on a white horse. Sometimes it's about the barista who remembers your name and your complicated coffee order, sparking a daydream that rivals any rom-com plot. These fantasies often revolve around emotional intimacy, connection, and the thrill of new beginnings. They serve as reminders that desire isn't solely physical, it's deeply intertwined with emotional resonance. Yes, fantasies can be funny. Imagine this. You're in a fantasy where you're the lead singer of a rock band, and your significant other is the group's #1 fan. Mid-concert, you lock eyes, and the rest is history. It's absurd, it's over the top, and it's delightful. Humor in fantasies allows for the exploration of scenarios that are lighthearted and whimsical. They provide a break from the seriousness of daily life and offer a playground for the imagination. Media and literature have a profound impact on shaping fantasies. The popularity of books like 50 Shades of Grey underscores the appetite for narratives that delve into complex dynamics of power and desire. Interestingly, studies have shown that women often prefer written erotica over visual stimuli. The reason? Written narratives allow for deeper character development, emotional context, and the freedom to imagine scenarios vividly. It's not about what you see, it's about what you feel while you're imagining it. And who could forget the fantasy of total, luxurious self-care? Think candlelit bubble baths, massages with scented oils, and someone feeding you strawberries while your phone is on airplane mode. Sometimes the fantasy is about being utterly taken care of without having to give anything back in that moment. It's about indulgence, about being allowed to take up space, to rest, to be adored. But it doesn't always stop at sensuality. There's also the fantasy of power, of being the CEO who walks into a room and owns it, not just metaphorically, but with actual legal ownership, or the courtroom lawyer who wins the case with a single monologue that would make Aaron Sorkin weep. These fantasies tap into a desire not for dominance over others, but for personal mastery and agency. Then there are the caretaker fantasies, not in the sense of being a housemaid in some frilly outfit, though hey, to each their own, but in the deeper emotional sense. Fantasies where your needs are anticipated and met without a word, where someone understands your unspoken signals, brings you tea before you ask, and somehow magically knows you need to be left alone on day 2 of your cycle. It's about emotional fluency and attentiveness, things we often miss in day-to-day relationships. Let's not forget the revenge fantasy. Oh yes, it exists, and it's delicious. Picture the high school bully watching you accept a prestigious award while looking flawless, or that ex seeing you on the arm of someone who treats you like royalty. These fantasies aren't necessarily vindictive. They're about validation, about rewriting the script so you come out on top. Sometimes fantasies go into deeply taboo territory, not because someone actually wants those situations in real life, but because the mind is a wild, curious place that likes to poke at boundaries. The key is understanding that fantasy is not the same as reality. It's about exploring feelings, power dynamics, and ideas, often exaggerated or symbolized in a consequence-free zone. It doesn't mean someone wants something to happen. It means they want to feel something intense. And yes, there's also the fantasy where someone else finally understands what mental load means. Where the dishes do themselves, the group chat drama resolves peacefully, and your calendar magically syncs with your partner's without needing a weekly summit meeting. These fantasies are grounded in reality, and they highlight a desire for true partnership, not just in the bedroom, but in life. Fantasies can also be nostalgic. Sometimes they revisit moments of first love, first kisses, or even fictional crushes from TV shows. It's less about wanting those people and more about reclaiming that specific feeling. The butterflies, the anticipation, the thrill. It's not about going back, it's about touching a version of yourself that once felt that electricity. There are fantasies of escape too, the kind where you move to a villa in Tuscany, open a vineyard, and speak fluent Italian despite never studying it. Where every local knows your name, your Wi-Fi is always strong, and your inbox is permanently set to out of office. These fantasies are less about lust and more about liberation, from schedules, demands, and the ever-looming pressure to have it all. Speaking of pressure, let's acknowledge how fantasies often subvert it. In real life, women are expected to be polished, pleasant, productive, and perpetually patient. Fantasies allow for the opposite. To be loud, messy, hungry, commanding, to be desired not despite those traits but because of them. They are a rebellion against perfectionism. And sometimes the fantasy is simply being understood. Not in the vague bumper sticker way, but in the quiet, granular, emotionally intelligent way. Where someone gets that silence doesn't mean distance, that frustration isn't an attack, and that vulnerability isn't weakness. This type of fantasy isn't flashy, but it's powerful. It shows that being seen, truly seen, is one of the most erotic feelings out there. Fantasies can even include healing. They might revisit painful experiences and reframe them. A moment where someone speaks up for you, where you say the thing you never had the courage to say, where closure is granted, not with drama, but with grace. This isn't about staying in the past. It's about rewriting it just enough to take back your power. So, what do most women fantasize about? The answer isn't a list of categories. It's an invitation to understand that fantasy is a living, breathing reflection of who someone is, what they crave, what they fear, and what they long for. It can be sexy, silly, soft, or strong, sometimes all at once. And the beauty of it is that it belongs to no one but you. There are no rules, no ratings, no audience scores. It's not for Instagram or your journal. It's for that quiet moment when your mind drifts, when the world softens, and when you remember that within you lives a storyteller, an explorer, and a dreamer.